Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. So as you well know, the June 1 cuts have been made in the NFL, and now the salary cap starts to come into a clearer picture. And I was looking at Over the Cap, and folks over there do a fantastic job of looking at the salary cap situations of each team in the National Football League, and you can look at it year by year moving into the future and where things sit. And as you look at it right now, the New Orleans Saints rank, as you would generally expect most times of year, including this time of year, right near the bottom of available salary cap space in the league. In fact, the Saints are number 30 in the league. Only the Seattle Seahawks and New York Giants have less flexibility under the salary cap than the New Orleans Saints. The Saints have $5.5 million in wiggle room right now. Now, I'm not suggesting they put themselves in a terrible spot at all, because you want to spend your money. You want to make sure you're using all the resources that are allowed to put the best product on the field that you can. But we also understand that the Saints have made a habit of going significantly over the salary cap and then working on gymnastics just to get back into compliance. And that's not something the Saints have done this year. I don't need the Saints to have $40 million in cap space like New England does. Like, that's not a huge help to New England this year. You're not going to sign any monster free agents at this point. You can certainly go add, and the Saints can still add with $5 million to play with, and they want to leave themselves a little leeway unless in case you want to go get somebody later on in the year. But the point being that New Orleans right now is 30th in the league in room under the salary cap, but it's getting better. You know me talking the last 3 months about a change in approach. You're only seeing one-year deals to some of these free agents. You're not seeing massive restructures that are tacking years on with extensions and roster bonuses that have hamstrung you down the road. You're not seeing any monster free agent signings from the New Orleans Saints that would, again, theoretically hamstring you if you don't get the production from the player that you'd like. They've sat back and been a little bit more patient. And a lot of this is, although it's in contractual form, etched in sand, because you can manipulate things a good bit with bonuses and whatnot, and that gets a little deeper in the weeds than I want to go into it, and probably a lot further into the weeds than you want to listen to. But I think to simplify this and to make it as simple as I can, like, you are coming up on the end of your responsibilities for Alvin Kamara, for Taysom Hill, for Cam Jordan, and most importantly, for Derek Carr over the next 2 seasons. And as those continue to fall off the books, all of a sudden you're reset. I've talked about this for since January, honestly. I don't believe Alvin Kamara is on the next Saints great team. I don't believe Cam Jordan is on the next great Saints team. I don't believe Demario Davis or even Taysom Hill is on the next great Saints team. And I don't think Derek Carr is on the next great Saints team either. And that sucks to sit here and suggest that in June when you're starting to ramp back up for football here over the next 30 to 60 days. But you're not making the commitments to those guys that in the past you had, and you're not dumping money back on top of the salary cap to try to get it figured out later. You're compliant, you've spent what you need to this year, and you understand that there are some deals coming off the books here, if not in 2025, right there at the beginning of 2026, that are going to give you a lot of freedom. And rebuilding is not a fun thing to talk about, but what is a fun thing to talk about is, okay, what's the beginning of this looks like? Okay, what young players can we continue to work around? And that's why it's so important that these Saints players that they drafted in this past draft and that they will draft in the next draft and that they drafted a year ago with Brian Brzee and that group, that those guys grow into the next nucleus. And then, finally, for the first time in a while, you're going to have the ability to go out and sign big-name free agents to supplement that. But you haven't really been able to do that in the Breeze era because you've always been trying to manipulate your way back under the salary cap. So you can't go make that splash. Now, you did with Derek Carr. That's a huge investment. Was it the right investment? Probably not.
But I'm starting to see a vision that seemed impossible for New Orleans a year ago because they never put themselves in this position. And it's starting to feel like, based on their actions and their words, that they're putting that into practice and that you can actually see a reset of this franchise. I'm not here to bash on the Saints for being 30th in salary cap room. I think that's okay in June. You've already made some signings and you kind of got the roster that you know you're going to have moving forward. But at this point, it's okay to look at the salary cap and go, man, another year, Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, Alvin Tamara, Taysom Hill, those guys roll off. And then another year, there's Derek Carr that we don't have to worry about. And all of a sudden, we might be in a really advantageous spot. It's not fun on the field, but if you're thinking about the health of the organization moving forward, I think that's where your mind probably needs to be.
Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.